Welcome to this presentation on penetration testing. This one is often called pen testing, and this one is a method used by organizations to assess the security of their systems, networks, or applications. This is done by simulating authorized cyber attacks to uncover vulnerabilities before malicious attackers can exploit them. So the process is systematic and structured, ensuring that every aspect of the target environment is thoroughly examined for weaknesses. Penetration testing is essential for organizations that want to strengthen their security postures and protect sensitive information. So on the phases of penetration testing, there is pre-engagement, which is planning. This one is the first stage of penetration testing, and during this stage, the tester and the client organization collaborate to define the scope and objectives of the test. This includes specifying which systems, applications, or networks will be tested, and identifying any limitations or exclusions. Legal and contractual agreements are established to ensure that all activities are authorized and compliant with the regulations. For example, a company may decide to test only its public-facing web servers, excluding its internal database. So this phase is crucial because it sets clear expectations and boundaries, preventing misunderstandings or legal issues later on. Then reconnaissance. This is information gathering. Once the planning is complete, the tester moves to the reconnaissance phase, also known as information gathering. The goal is to collect as much information as possible about the target environment. It can involve passive techniques such as searching public records or social media for details about the company and its employees, as well as active techniques like probing the organization's website for technical information. For instance, a tester might use tools to discover the company's IP address ranges or identify the types of operating systems in use. So the information gathered during this phase forms the foundation for the next steps in the testing process. Then there is scanning or discovery. After recognizing, the tester conducts a scanning or discovery to map the target's attack surface. So this involves using automated tools to identify live hosts, open ports, services, and other network resources. So the tester may run port scans to see which services are accessible from the internet, or use network mapping tools to visualize the structure of the organization's infrastructure. Vulnerability scanners are often employed at this stage to detect known weaknesses in software or configurations. For example, discovering an outdated web server with unpatched vulnerabilities could highlight a potential entry point for attackers. Then there is the vulnerability assessment or analysis. In the vulnerability assessment or analysis phase, the tester examines the data collected during the scanning phase to identify specific vulnerabilities. Each vulnerability is assessed and prioritized based on its severity and the potential impact it could have on the organization. Standard scoring systems such as the common vulnerability scoring system are often used to rank the risk. For example, a critical vulnerability that allows remote code execution would be prioritized over a minor information disclosure issue. So this phase helps our organization focus their remediation efforts on the most serious threats. Then there is exploitation phase, is where the tester attempts to actively exploit the identified vulnerabilities. So the aim is to determine whether these weaknesses can be used to gain unauthorized access, exchange privileges, or extract sensitive data. This step demonstrates the real-world risk associated with each vulnerability. For instance, if the tester can exploit a weak password to access an administrator account, it improves that attackers could do the same. Exploitation is performed carefully and within the agreed upon rules to avoid causing harm to the organization's system. Then there is the post-exploitation Once access has been gained, the tester enters the post-exploitation or borrowing phase. Here, the focus shifts to evaluating how deeply the tester can penetrate the system, how long they can maintain access, and what sensitive data can be reached. So this phase helps to access the potential damage an attacker could inflict if they were to compromise the system. So after gaining access on stage 5, here we want to maintain access, right? So for example, the tester might attempt to move laterally within the network to access confidential files or accelerate privileges to gain control over critical systems. So understanding the extent of possible damage is vital for organizations to prioritize their security improvements. Then there is reporting and recommendations. The final phase of penetration testing involves compiling a comprehensive report. This document details the vulnerabilities discovered, how they were exploited, and what data was accessed. It also provides actionable recommendations for remediation, helping organizations address the identified weaknesses. The report may suggest a timeline for implementing fixes and recommend a follow-up assessment to verify that vulnerabilities have been resolved. So clear and thorough reporting ensures that technical and non-technical stakeholders understand the risk and the steps needed to improve security. So to end this presentation, penetration testing is a vital process for organizations seeking to proactively identify and address security weaknesses. So if you follow the structured approach that I've given you, starting with careful planning, gathering information, scanning, gaining access, which is attempting exploitation, assessing the depth of compromise, which is maintaining it, and finally reporting findings, organization can reduce their risk of cyber attacks. So the insights gained from penetration tests not only help in fixing immediate issues, but also contribute to building a robust long-term security strategies. So this marks the end of our presentations, and questions are welcome in the comment section. Thank you for listening to this presentation. Thank you.